Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Kylie. Kylie is from New York City, but he lives in London. So let's see what Kylie has to say. Enjoy the interview.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Kylie. Yes, I can.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I'm
great.
I'm very well. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time for the interview today. Thank you.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. It's warm today. It got warmer than it's been like forever. I'm glad it's getting warm, but like, geez, so quick.
Yeah, today was a very warm day, but it's getting a bit cooler now.
Yeah, it is.
Get a bit cooler. Okay, Kylie. So before we start the game, tell me where you're from.
So I am originally from New Orleans, Louisiana, in the United States. I was born in New Orleans, Louisiana, in the actual city of New Orleans, and raised there. I lived there until I was about 19 or 20.
Okay.
And then I moved away for school. And I went to college in Baltimore. Well, at first I started at college in New Orleans, but then I transferred to a school in Baltimore. And then from Baltimore, I moved to DC. Then from DC, I moved to Philly, and then from Philly to New York. And now I live in London. So I've moved a bunch of different places.
Oh my God. It's a lot of moving for sure. And
Yeah.
why London?
I'm sorry?
And why London?
Well, so in 2017, I went to a program, and I'm an actor. That's one of the things I do. My day job is I work for a magazine, LGBTQ magazine, but I'm an actor by training. I trained as an actor, and I was in a program in 2017 in Oxford. And while I was there, I was taking trips to London to see shows, and I ended up meeting someone while I was in London, and we continued to talk. And then our relationship kind of grew, and then so now we're married. So the person that I'm married to lives in the UK, and we've been together for about 5 years.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Wow. I was checking a little bit your profile, and I could see your partner, your husband by your side.
Yes.
And so you've been living in London for the last 5 years?
No, so that's the crazy part. We were long distance for a very long time. I was coming here about every other month to visit, from 2017 to about 2020 when the pandemic happened. And then when the pandemic happened, that sort of like threw everything in the air, and we were like, all the travel restrictions, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And right before the pandemic happened, he was going to take a trip to New York, and we were going to get married in New York in April of 2020. Well, of course that didn't happen. So we put it off into September of 2020. And once the pandemic started to die down a little bit, I came here to London in June of 2020. And I stayed here until October, and we got married in Gibraltar in September of 2020, in the middle of the pandemic.
Oh my God, amazing.
Yeah. We were just really nervous because we didn't know, like what was going to happen, and if I was going to be able to come over here again. And like, we just wanted to, I guess, have a piece of paper that said we were family, so that it could be essential for me to visit if I needed to, So I actually just moved to London last year. It's been a year. This month, it's been a year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing, Kylie. And so far, what do you like the most about living in London?
What I like the most about living in London?
Yeah.
I would say the history and the culture. London is old. Like there isn't like any places that old in America. America's a pretty young country compared to England. And like all of these, not just London, but like everywhere in England is just really old, and there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of architecture that dates further back than anything in America would date back. um, so that's probably one of the best things I like about London. I like the culture, I like the history, I like the architecture and things like that.
And tell me a little bit about your career as an actor.
So, my acting career was on hiatus for some years. I was, throughout like college, like after I graduated college with my bachelor's degree in theater, I started auditioning, and like the first professional audition, small role in like a small theater company. It was professional, but it was a small company, but I was really excited about it. And then I got a few other little jobs, but then things started to get really slow, and I started to get kind of discouraged. And there was like a lot of instances that came up with like my weight and things like that we had to have conversations about. So it just kind of put me in like a state of mind that I was kind of like sad and depressed about it. So I kind of like let it go for a couple of years and sort of like, did some therapy and did some things to like take care of myself. And then I came back to it. Actually last year I started like auditioning and doing things again. So I'm just getting back into it at 36 after about 5 years off. But I feel good about it. I feel good where it's headed. I'm auditioning for like mostly commercials and film things and stuff like that. Not so much theater. I don't have the time for theater, but yeah. So that's basically it's going great. I have an agent here now, as of 2 months ago. So yeah, it's going good.
Amazing, Kyle, amazing. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, so through the journey, I'm going to explore a little bit more about your career, about your life, about your journey in London, about your life back in the US as well. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Sure.
Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Full of wonderful questions, okay? I'm just going to play a song now just for us to move a little bit before the first question, okay? Do it. Okay, Kylie, so before we start the game, through the journey, if there is a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? It's all very friendly. First question for you is, if you could go back in time, in one moment or memory in your life, what that would be and why?
Wow. One memory in my life that I could go back to and why. I would probably go back to actually when I was in England for that program, and I was going through a lot, emotionally and stuff, and I don't think that I applied myself as much as I wanted to in that program, and like I don't think I did good, but I don't think I did my best, and I would probably go back to that moment and redo that and really, really take it in, and really, really, and really like challenge myself a little bit more. Yeah.
I see. And which year was that?
It was 2017, so it wasn't that long ago. I went for a really recent memory.
See, very good one. Sometimes when you look back at some memories in our lives, you go like, I wish I could have done that differently or with more, you know what I mean? More, I don't know, more things into it. We have always this. But anyway, everything happens the way it should be, and that's why it makes life interesting and spicy as well. Next question. Right, next question for you is, what is your favorite kitchen smell?
Oh, favorite kitchen smell. Baking bread, like bread baking in the oven, like that bread baking smell. That's so good. And like I like a lot of sweets. I like pies and like so that's probably my second thing, like apple pie or like some type of cake or something baking. But I think even more than that, bread. Like there's something about baking bread that smells so great to me.
Do you like cooking, Kylie?
I do. I do.
And what's your British dish that you like the most or cook the most? You like it?
My British dish that I cook the most. Oh, to be honest with you, a full English breakfast, a fried breakfast.
The best.
I love a fried breakfast. Yeah.
And your partner,
Can't lie.
He likes cooking as well. Your husband.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But even more than that, he probably likes eating too. So, so we both do a fair share of cooking and eating.
Very good. Next question. Let's do it. Kylie, before the next question, tell me, since you've been in London, yeah, like what was the most challenging part for you, or maybe has been still living in England? Is there something?
The biggest thing I think for me that's been the hardest thing to sort of wrap my head around is the way British people communicate versus the way Americans communicate. Like Americans are like very like straightforward and very like bold and expressive about everything, and British people are kind of reserved, I feel. That's just my perspective. You know, a lot of people may not feel that way, but that's my perspective. Coming from America, my perspective of British people, that they're a little bit more reserved, a little less likely to say anything that's going to spark any type of conflict. So like sometimes you don't feel like you're getting like the actual like thing that they want to say to you. And so sometimes like even with my partner, like sometimes with my husband, it's like trying to pull it out, you know, like he doesn't have to do that to me. He tells me I'm too expressive sometimes. But like me, I have to try to pull it out of him, and it's just like, oh. So yeah, that's probably been the biggest thing, is like communication, like verbal communication, because British people communicate way different than how Americans do.
And do you consider that to be the biggest difference between you and your partner?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. How we communicate. He is a more reserved person, and I am a very expressive person. If I have something on my mind or I feel some way about something, I'm going to tell him, whether, you know, he likes it or not, or whether it's a good thing or not. Like, I'm gonna say it. So I think that's probably the biggest thing the biggest hurdle that we've had to cross in our relationship is communication.
And say that, what's the biggest similarity between both of you?
Biggest similarity, there's many. I love for food, of course. We're big boys. I love for food. Our love of music, movies, entertainment, stuff like that. We're all into it. We go to movies, we go to theater together, we eat. These are the things we do. So like we have a lot in common in that sense, that we just like entertainment and art and things like that.
Amazing. Very good. Next question is, how long can you go without checking your phone?
Probably talking to you, because I'm on my phone now, looking at my phone during the Zoom. So like, this is probably the longest all day that I've gone without looking at my phone. But realistically, probably like if I'm up and about during the day, probably about 5 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes. Yeah.
And let's say someone come up to you and say, okay, Kyle, you need to remove forever from your phone social media, all included, like TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all together, or YouTube. Which one would you choose and why?
Facebook, social media, and that's saying a lot because my day job is being a social media manager for the LGBTQ media company that I work for. So if I delete all those apps from my phone, I won't work. but personally, probably Facebook and TikTok and all those things can go. YouTube is it's a form of entertainment. There's videos and music and stuff on there. So.
And YouTube you can find as well Willie and the Magic Box.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely.
Next question.
I'm going to be on it. I'm on it right now. You're watching.
There you go. Now you cannot miss it. Never. Next one. Let's do it. Before the next question, tell me a little bit about your job in London as you're working with media, social media.
So the company I work with is a up and coming LGBTQ media company, and I've been actually working with them since 2019, since before I was here. But the thing about it is that it's a remote company. We all live in different places for the most part. I live in London. There's one of the other editors lives in Birmingham. Then one of the other editors lives in New York, and that's where I met him, in New York. But they're both British. It's so funny. They're both British, and one of them lives in America because his partner is from America. His partner's from New York, so that's why he lives there. But you know, so basically, I started out writing articles, and then I was a deputy editor. I've been a deputy editor for a while. I'm moving out of the deputy editor position and going into social media manager position. One of the social media managers, and you know, basically writing copy for the social media, like posting articles, posting things. I also edit articles, and so I do a lot of different things. But I really like it because it's not the same every day. It's different. It's different every day.
I see. Yeah. All right. Next question for you is: do you consider yourself to be a spiritual person, and how?
I would say spiritual-ish. Because I do practice sort of like meditations, and I've chanted a bit. I also practice like Yoruba, like the ancient African religion a bit. I wouldn't say that I was fully devoted to anything, but I do know a lot and delve a lot into very spiritual practices and things like that. I'm very into astrology and stuff like that, so I'm just one of those types of people. And so yeah, I would consider myself spiritual-ish, if that's a word.
What is your star sign?
I'm a Cancer.
I see. Interesting.
Yes.
Next question. I mean, I don't understand a lot about astrology, but Cancer, I don't know much. I know a bit about mine. I'm Scorpio, so I know a bit mine. But yeah, I don't.
That's my partner. My partner's a Scorpio.
Really? Which day?
Yeah.
Which day, month?
November.
Which day?
13th.
I'm 17th, almost there.
Oh, wow.
Next question is, what did you think was the most challenging part of being a kid?
Most challenging part of being a kid was for me, probably dealing with other kids. But also, I think, no, actually, personally for me, I think the hardest part about being a kid was being the oldest. I was the oldest in my family. So like sometimes I felt like, you know, some of the things I wanted or like some of the things I needed sort of took a back seat because I had to, let my little brothers get what they wanted and things like that. And like sometimes I just feel like I missed out a little bit, not intentionally. Like no one was like intentionally like neglectful to me or anything, but I just sort of feel like that was probably the hardest part. I was always looking out for people, but like, I was like, where was everybody looking out for me,
And being a gay guy, a gay boy, did you always have the support of your family?
It's funny because I never actually, the only person that actually came out to was my mom. I never actually came out to my entire family. They just kind of like figured it out, and they figured it out when I was older. But I think, when I was a kid, people kind of had an idea. Certain things were said to me by my older cousins, and things about like how I said things or how I did things or whatever. So like there were little things like that happened when I was a kid. Nothing like major. Like no one said like to me that you're gay. It was more of like, they kind of like tiptoed around it a little bit.
I see. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Kylie, how is your British accent doing after those a year that you've been living here?
To Americans, it's good. To British people, it's bad, and I'm not going to do it.
All right, I'm not gonna put
all the British people are gonna laugh at me. They're all gonna laugh at me.
I'm not gonna put in this spot then. I was about to ask you the next question in the British accent, but okay, I'm gonna leave it like this way.
I'm gonna. I mean, I can try. I can.
All right.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of like Essex. Sort of like a. You all right, babes? You okay? You all right?
All right. What I'm going to do? Try to answer the next question, then with Essex British accent. Okay, let's see. Okay, next question is: what is the nicest thing a family member has ever done for you?
So, like, when I was younger, my family, they used to take me to the park a lot. So I can't do it. I can't do it. That's the best I can do.
I love it. That's fine. You can come back to your original accent then.
I have better accents than that. I'm an actor. I have a whole bunch of accents in my wheelhouse, but for some reason, wrapping my tongue around a British accent is really hard.
So tell me, what's the nice thing a family member has ever done for you then?
The nicest thing my family members ever done to me was, I was actually being really serious. They used to take me to the park a lot. They used to take me to, I say park, but like, I mean, anywhere, park, movies, theater, to the arcade, whatever. They would always like take me places, and surprise me with like going places and things like that. It's probably like, I really liked when they did that.
And saying that, Kylie, when you think about your childhood in New Orleans, what's the best memory that comes to your mind?
Christmas. No, probably every child's best memory. I would even further than Christmas. I would probably just say like the holidays. My grandmother was very festive, so like she used to like do a lot for every holiday, even like Easter. Like for Easter, for example, we would have like a big, huge Easter egg hunt like in her yard, and then like we would get prizes. Our prizes was money. It was money. She would give us some money. Each egg had like a different like amount in it, and it would like like 25 cents or 50 cents, and then you would get like the amount of money after the Easter egg hunt. We would play games and get prizes. Every family, every sub family within the large family had their own game that they would play with the family, and then prizes that they would give to the family from their game. So we were in prizes and things like that. So Easter was really fun. Christmas, of course, was fun. All the holidays were fun because my grandmother just went all out for holidays. I mean, she once got in a casket. Her brother owned a funeral home, and she rented a casket from her brother's funeral home and like laid in it and popped out of it with like a scary mask on, like to all the children who were passing by for Halloween. Like that's the type of stuff she would do.
That's funny. Next question, Kylie, let's do it. Kylie, next question is, yes. Which question would you like to be asked?
Which question would I like to be asked? You could ask me what I'm having for dinner. I don't know. No, that's not a good question. What is my favorite movie? And I don't even know what it is, but you're gonna ask me that and make me think about it.
Okay, what's in a different way the question? So tell me, which movie had a big impact in your life regarding you of being an actor, and also what's the biggest when you think about an actor? Who is the one your favorite? The one you said, okay, that's I always have this inspiration, you know what I mean, about this actor. Who that would be?
Probably, I would say the two actors that sort of like that I saw myself in the most as a performer were Forest Whitaker and Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I see.
Yes.
And what's saying that, Kylie? What's in your opinion? What's the most challenging part of being an actor?
The most challenging part of being an actor is when you get those roles that are like really, really heavy, and you know, remembering to keep yourself separate from the character. You know, there's some people that really, really go deeply into what they're doing. Like most famously, probably, what's his name from Brokeback Mountain?
I forgot,
but I don't. Joker.
Yeah.
He went really far, and you know, it was difficult to pull himself back. So I think for a lot of actors, that's probably one of the biggest things. The other thing that I would probably say is just maintaining that sort of like, especially for stage actors in particular, remembering to keep that fourth wall up. You know, it's very easy to start reacting or playing to the audience when the audience like is feeding to you, and we're gonna do that a little bit, but like you don't want to start like playing too much to the audience. You want to stay in the character, stay truthful to the moment and things like that.
I see. All right. 3 questions left for you, Kylie. Let's do it. Next question is tough question now for you, Kylie. If someone gave you an envelope, yeah, with your death date inside of it, would you open it or not, and why?
Oh, because I'm really, really investigative, I would want to, but there's another part of me that wouldn't want to, and I think I wouldn't. I think like that information is better kept, you know, because I don't want to be living my life like looking towards that day or like waiting for that day to happen. I want to just be able to live honestly and truthfully in my life, and then like whenever that happens, it happens. Because I don't think I need to know that, so I probably wouldn't look. I would be tempted though. I would be really tempted.
I'm the same as well, but I think it would change. For the day when I knew it, it would change until the last day, because I would be thinking, and it would change my path. I think for sure. Yeah. 2 questions left for you. Oh wow, that's a good move. Before the next question, Kylie, as you lived in New York before moving to London, in your opinion, what's the biggest difference between the gay scene in New York and the gay scene in London, if there is any?
I feel like, I kind of feel like in London there are more pockets of people. Not to say it's cliquey, because I've met some really nice people here that have brought me into their friend group and things like that. But I just feel like because people in London or England are a little bit more reserved. They have their groups, and like I said, just it goes back to that whole communication thing. Like, people here are a little bit more reserved. So when you go to New York, like, you could walk down the street and like end up having like a conversation with a person you barely know, like as if you all were friends from like the first day you were born or something. Whereas in London, I don't feel like people would be as receptive to that type of thing. So I just think that there's a little bit more of like a community thing in New York when it comes to the LGBTQ community. And like here, I feel like sometimes it's a little bit more insular, or people have their own little pockets of support groups, I guess you could say.
I see. All right. Next question is, what bores you?
What bores me? There's some movies and TV shows that I've seen before. What's the name of it? I can't even think of it right now. Oh, it's gonna come to me, but like I have not been able to stay awake. Oh, my partner's gonna kill me if he heard this, but like the old movie Tron, I have not been able to stay awake during that movie.
And he loves it.
I have not been able to stay awake during it. And I told him, he asked me if I enjoyed it after it was over, and I was like, yeah, it was great. Yeah. But I think that's the thing that that's the only thing I could probably think of. Like, it's so funny. I don't really allow myself to get bored. I always have something, like a book, or like I'm always reading something or looking at something. I would probably say not having anything to do bores me.
Are you most of a day or a night person?
Night, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a night owl. I have to make myself go to bed at night, and I have to make myself get up in the morning. But yeah, I'm definitely more of a night person. I like to, because like I said, growing up and being the oldest and things like that, it was always like my peace and quiet time was when everybody went to bed, and then I could read, or I could write, or I could watch something, because everybody was asleep. So I think it's just like it stayed with me. Like, that's the night is sort of like my quiet time. And like, even going back to that spiritual question, I'm a Cancer, and my planet is the moon. And so I think that's the reason why I'm a night owl, is because I am one with the moon.
It's all connected.
Yeah, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Kylie, you ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Last question. But before the last question, people watching the interview, would you like to start a career as an actor? What would be your best piece of advice?
Um, Make sure you're doing it because you like doing it, not because you want to be famous. Um, Most people who are actors, they're actors in like regional professional theater, or they've been working on stage, in small productions on stage for years, and they have like a name in their community, but they're not celebrities. And acting, you should really go into acting for the art of it because you like it and because you enjoy it, not because you want to be famous. Because 80%, I would probably say, of the people who for acting careers won't be famous, and they know that. It's something that you do for the love of it. It's not something that you do to be famous.
It's the different things, isn't it? You're totally right what you say. They're totally different thing. Or if you want to be famous, it's not the right. I mean, I think any career.
Everybody would probably take the opportunity to be famous
Yeah.
if it came to them. I mean, to be honest with you, I've been thinking about if I would, though, for the longest. I'm like, oh, do I? Because I like my privacy. I don't know if I don't know if I want people like with a camera in my face all the time or something like that. So like some people, I mean, I know people who have turned things down because, they didn't want that exposure,
Mm-hmm.
So it really just depends on what you want as a person. I mean, and if you want to be famous, it's okay to want to be famous. It's okay to want to be like a celebrity or a superstar or whatever. But you just shouldn't put all your eggs in that basket, because that might not happen. And if that doesn't happen, what about what you're doing is going to make you happy?
You're saying that it's too late now. You're already part of the Magic Box. Now you're gonna be famous for the long one. Last question for you is: what makes you most uncomfortable about dating? But I think I'm gonna skip this one because you are in a relationship. So let's keep things more easier. Last question for you is: how would you describe a perfect, healthy friendship?
A friendship where communication is open,
Mm-hmm.
where where people respect one another, that two people respect each other, or multiple people respect each other, and loyalty. You have their back. It's pretty much the same as like with a relationship. A relationship or a friendship, like whatever, the same values go into communication, trust, loyalty. Those things, like those are the things that make a friendship too.
Absolutely. Okay, Kylie, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game. Okay, I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Yep.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Money.
Power.
Family.
Love.
One word for life.
Lovely.
Sex.
Great.
One word for love.
Cool. These are literally the first thing popping in my head.
Politics.
Hard.
Religion.
Not great.
One word for fear.
Hate.
Friendship.
Love.
Desire.
Passion.
Regret.
Loneliness.
Success.
Perfect. No.
It's what comes to your mind. One word for wish.
Star.
Happiness.
Great.
One word for New Orleans.
Home.
One word for New York.
Life.
One word for Philadelphia, for Philly. I had so many guests on the show from Philadelphia.
Cool.
They go like, I'm from Philly.
Cool.
Yeah. One word for London.
Exquisite.
Interesting. And the last one. And the last one now. Actor.
Being.
Amazing. Let's pretend I'm going to meet your lovely husband for a coffee, and I'm going to ask your lovely husband, tell me the most beautiful thing about Kylie, and what's something that he still needs to improve on? What he would say?
He would say that the greatest thing about me is, he would probably either say the fact that he feels I'm very, very resourceful and very intelligent, or he would say that I'm very, very passionate and caring. I think the thing that he would probably say I need to work on is not worrying so much what people think and trusting myself more.
Interesting. Cool. Let's play now. Kylie and the Magic Box, and you can ask me a question. But okay, Kylie, you can ask me a question now.
So, I mean, you may have answered this before. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't seen many episodes of the Magic Box yet. I mean, now that I'm on it, I'm going to have to watch them. But I guess my question for you is, I told you all multiple places I lived in. How many places have you lived? And if you lived in multiple places, which place is your favorite and why?
Good question. Right, so I'm gonna go back to my childhood. So I originally from Brazil. Yeah, I left Brazil when I was 19 years old, and I moved to Porto in Portugal, and I was living there for almost 5 years, more or less. And after that, I moved to England, to London, and I've been here for 18 years now. It's going to be. Yeah, it's been a long time. A long time I've been in London. So yeah, so I left. I've been those three places. It's hard to say, Kylie, because I love my country. I think Brazil, it's the place where I was born. It's the place it's my roots are there.
Yeah.
Everything is there. When I think about Brazil, it just warms my heart, and I'm so proud and I'm so happy that I'm from Brazil, because I have this. I just love the way we are, the way we've been raised, the way you say in the beginning about the difference, about American, the way they approach. And I totally understand that, because in Brazil, we have this approach as well. Sometimes you can meet someone on the streets and you can talk for like 10 minutes and you feel like best friends,
Yeah.
We have this approach as well in Brazil. When you were saying that, I literally could picture myself and, seeing the same way as well. Porto for me is a city where everything started my life in Europe. When I came to Europe, I didn't know much about Europe. I didn't know much about Portugal. The only thing I knew about Portugal was the history behind, but I never heard a Portuguese person talk in my life when I arrived there. It was quite hard for me. And I'm so grateful again to first live there for a few years before moving to London. As you know, London is a big city, it's everything's too fast. And I'm so glad that this journey in Europe started in Portugal, because it somehow grounded me. It's kind of prepared me to come to London, to this big, massive city.
Yeah.
London is home. I feel like London is the place I'm meant to be. I don't picture myself. I cannot see myself living somewhere else. I really love London. I really like here. So the second part of your question, it's hard, but I would say London, because London for me, it's a place where, as a teenager, I was studying English, and I always want to live in a country where I could speak English every single day. And now I'm living in a city where I can speak English every single day. And so I think London, it's very special for me, because you know, I've learned a lot through these 18 years. You know, I went through a lot of up and downs, a lot of, you know, challenge in my life, but I'm so grateful because it's a city where showed me the, you know, the beautiful side of living in a big city, and also the challenging part as well of living in a big city. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful because you just learn that living in a place like London, like New York, as you know very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm grateful. As I can feel that London is home for me now, so I would say London because it's a place where, but again, my heart is, half of my heart is in Brazil, another half is in Portugal, in Porto.
Bonus question: what part of London is your favorite? What do you? I guess where you live, right, would probably be your favorite.
No, actually, it's a good question, and I'll tell you what. I've been very, you know, when you live in London, you've been here for 2 years, but when you live in London, I don't know if you realize that, but you move a lot. Like, I have friends that they moved at least, like sometimes 1 year, they move like 7 times, you know? It's hard for you to kind of find a place. And I've been very lucky because when I arrived in London, I lived actually in, in 18 years, this is my fourth place. So it's kind of, it's not what I mean, compare with people, they move like almost every year. So I'm living in Stratton now, Stratton Hill, South London now. I've been here for almost 2 years. And before that, I was living in Southeast, in Brockley, near Luton for 10 years. I was there. And before that, I was living in Southeast London, near Canary Wharf. So I was there for 4 years. Saying that, one of my favorite areas, I like all those areas in London. I've been in Southeast since I moved to England, but to London. But for some reason, I have a special connection with East London in Canary Wharf.
That's where I live.
Oh, really? Where's about?
Leighton.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So when I was living in Poplar near Canary Wharf. So yeah. For some reason, you know, that's, I don't know, because I had a partner at the time as well. So I have very good memories there as well. And still, I go to Canary Wharf a lot. My cinema is there. I go to the gym sometimes there. I have got friends who still living there as well around Canary Wharf. So, you know, I always, you know, I love South London. I love Southeast London. But for some reason, I think East London is something, you know.
Me too. I'm an East London. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's something about East London that still, when I go there, I feel like it's my place. It's my place where, I don't know if everything started there. And so I think East London, it's part of my heart. It always will be. Yeah, I love East London. You as well. Since you came to London, you've been in the same area, East London. Yeah. There we go. So you understand very well what I'm talking about, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And my partner lived in Leighton before I moved here too. So like, it's always been East London. And like most of the people we know live in like Hackney and places like that. Mile End.
Mile End. I know Mile End, Stratford, you know. Leighton as well, and Leighton. So you know, it's part of it's part of East London. And there's something there about that we enjoyed a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Kylie, did you have a good time? Did you enjoy the interview?
It was great. Thank you for having me. It was a nice thing to do. Like I'm like I said, I'm glad I know about your show now. Now I can go and watch like other episodes. But like I like stuff like this. I like answering questions and like so. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much thank you. Thanks very much for taking the time for the interview. Thanks for being kind and sharing your experience in life and your point of views as well. Yes. But before you go, if you can share a positive message or something that you live by.
I call it's something that I learned, and it's so funny because it's rooted in religion, but like it goes outside of religion for me. It's not a religious thing, it's just a human thing. Treat the golden rule, treat others as you would want to be treated. And that's really like how I kind of live.
Absolutely. It's the basic, isn't it? It's the basic you can do. It just treating other people how you'd like to be treated. It's something that if you keep that in your back of your mind, you know, it's like it's a habit, and you just do good things when you think about that, for sure.
Exactly.
Kylie, regards to your partner, to your friends, and you keep in touch, okay? Thanks for the interview,
Yes,
okay?
thank you.
And I
Yes.
see you in East London sometimes in the summer now. I see you in East London sometimes when I come.
Please do. Yeah, we can hang. Let's do it. Let's set it up.
Absolutely. Take
Message
care,
me on
okay? Have a good
Instagram.
night. Absolutely.
All right.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye-bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, to share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.